My name is Matthew Montgomery. I'm a native of Lubbock, Texas, born and raised and lived here the majority of my life. I work out at the Montford unit as a medical social worker in the regional medical facility. I've been out there for almost 14 years now. For me, my defining moments kind of started early on. Defining moments in my life. I was born and raised in the church, but told to go to church, and was taken to church every week and had to go, and didn't much like that. When I finally got to the point where my parents told me that I didn't have to go to church anymore if I didn't want, I just rebelled. I just went, okay, now it's my turn to do what I want to do. And that's what I tried to do for years, is do what I wanted to do, live for me. Even when I met Dale, we were in a rock and roll band. We hired her as a singer for the band, and I knew that I had something special with her, but I didn't realize what that was until later. She had told me that she joined me, the band, and liked me because I wrote Christian songs. The funny thing was I was writing Christian songs, but not even trying to live the Christian life. I was a poser. I would say what is right and what is true, and then live what I wanted to do. I'd try to take out of the Bible what I thought I could use, and then not what I didn't want to hear. So when we were invited to come to Aldersgate by Ed and Deborah Lloyd, Dale was working for them at Jack and Jill Donuts, and was really impressed with Aldersgate in that when I was growing up at the church that I was going to, I won't mention any names, I don't want to hurt any feelings, but I wasn't Matthew Montgomery. I was Dr. Montgomery's troubled son, because I had gotten arrested and was having trouble with drugs and alcohol and all, and everybody knew it, and so my identity there was Dr. Montgomery's troubled son. And that was always uncomfortable. I didn't like that. When I came to Aldersgate, they didn't care what I'd done. They didn't even care what I was doing. They were just glad I was here. And that impressed me. I didn't feel judged by anybody, by the not just the people on the church staff, but by the people that were there. I didn't feel judged. I think one of the really turning points is in 2000 I decided to get baptized again. And the reason is because I had been baptized as a child, but I didn't know what was going on then. And I'd even been baptized in Ribble Park back in the 70s, for the hippie thing. But it wasn't really a commitment for me to try to do something different. It was just going through the motions. And so I decided that I was ready to make a commitment. And right before I went in to get baptized, Dale told me, she said, the scales are fixing to be removed from your eyes. And she was so right, because after that, I've never seen the world the same. So that was a real defining moment in my life. That was the start of my walk. I think when we quit drinking was another defining moment. That was April 23rd of 2006. We made the conscious decision, and reading through the literature and the books, Dale and I are both very unique in the addiction world, because usually it takes a catastrophic event for somebody to quit, to really make the decision that they're going to quit. Getting arrested, losing family, homes, whatever. And none of that happened. We just decided that if we don't quit, we're going to die drunk. And didn't want to do that. And we knew we weren't living what God wanted us to live. And so we just decided. We set a date and decided that's going to be the date that we quit. And that was a defining moment. Because just like being baptized, when I quit and actually started walking in the AA program, it changed my outlook of everything. There's kind of a little saying that AA will mess up your drinking. And it will, because you think of things different. You don't think of things in the same light. You can't be ignorant about things anymore. And that changes you. When you can't just hide, you can't just blow it off and ignore it anymore, because you know better. My involvement with the church, started, like I said earlier, I was raised in a Lutheran church and went to church every day. And my idea of church was the building that we went to on Sundays. My mom sang in the church, and I always enjoyed that, but I never enjoyed the people in church because, as I had stated earlier, I was Dr. Montgomery's troubled son. And that was my identity in the church, and I didn't like that. I didn't see much purpose for the church. I didn't see that the church was accomplishing anything except a gathering of people on Sunday. I think my changing view of the church started with Aldersgate, in that I realized that the church isn't a building, it's the people that make up a church. And the church doesn't have to be a Lutheran church or a Methodist church or an Episcopalian church. The church can be one body of people, of believers. That was an enlightening and a relief, actually, because I never felt before with when I was attending my old church that I never felt that the people were accomplishing anything, were helping anybody, were doing anything except meeting and talking about God. And now I feel that this church here at Aldersgate helps people, but at the same time, I can be the church. I don't have to have JR or Mike or Jimmy or anybody else to be there to make the church. I can be the church by showing love, by doing things for others, by helping people, whether anybody else is around or not. Music is an important part of my relationship with God, with Dale, with the world. And it's interesting because I think that it is a door that I can use to touch non-believers. When most people think of religious music, gospel music, they think of the nice, swirly, light, Amazing Grace sung by quartet kind of thing. But what I know is that God made all music, and He can grind down pretty hard with the best of them. But that's a way that I can take a message and reach the younger generation too, through hard rock and roll with a message. You can put God's words into any music. And I've seen kids headbanging away to things like Jesus Freak and all, and not understanding, they're not necessarily grabbing right off the bat what the message is, but that message is still being planted as a seed. So I see my music as a seed planter, as a way to plant seeds through a positive message. I see it as part of the gifts. God's given us all gifts, and it's one of the gifts that He's given me, and I need to use it for Him. Groovy cool.